Imagine standing at the bottom of a steep, muddy slope. Right above you, the English army sits behind a massive wall of timber and iron. It won't move. Duke William has thrown his heavy cavalry at this hill for 9 straight hours, and all he's got to show for it is dead men in the mud. William is getting wrecked, but by sunset, that wall falls apart. The English king takes an arrow straight through the eye, and a whole kingdom changes hands. How do you break a wall that won't break? You trick them. But before we get into how this battle was won, we need to get into why it's even being fought. It starts with a dead king, an empty throne, and 3 dangerous men, all willing to burn England down just to sit on that throne.
January 1066. King Edward is dying, and he's got no son to take over. So from his deathbed, he turns to the one man who's basically been running the country beside him, Harold Godwinson, Earl of Wessex, the most powerful noble in England. Edward tells him, "Take the kingdom." Harold doesn't waste a second. Edward is barely buried and Harold is already crowned the very same day. But not everyone agrees he should be king. One of them is in Normandy, and the second he finds out what Harold's done, he is furious. His name is William, Duke of Normandy. His father held the title before him, but his mother was a tanner's daughter, and people never let him forget it. Men call him the bastard, right to his face. Years back, rebels at Alençon mocked him for it. They hung animal skins off the town walls, calling him the tanner's grandson. William took the town, and then he took revenge. 32 men, hands and feet hacked off. After that, nobody questioned him again. That is the man Harold is about to go to war with. William's claim to the throne was actually valid because Edward had promised it to him years earlier, and William believed that made the crown his by right. So he doesn't just gather forces to invade. He goes to the Pope first, gets his invasion blessed as a holy war, and turns his revenge into a righteous cause. But William's not the only one coming for it. Up north, an even bigger threat is on the move. Harold Hardrada, the most feared Viking king alive, wants England too, and he's not coming alone. He has teamed up with Harold's own brother, Tostig. Tostig got kicked out of England and never got over it, and now he would rather burn his brother's kingdom down than stay locked out of it. So 2 of the deadliest men in Europe are sailing south together, and Harold's own blood is leading them in. Harold has the crown, and he has an army, but one enemy is gathering ships in the north, another is gathering an army in the south, and Harold Godwinson is about to find out what it means to fight a war on 2 fronts at once.
Harold puts his army on the southern coast and waits for William to land, but the wind won't cooperate. William's fleet sits stack across the channel for weeks, then months, and the longer Harold waits, the worse his own problem gets. His men run out of food and harvest season hits, so he has no choice. He sends his men home. He thinks the weather just saved him. That's exactly why he's about to get blindsided. Because while Harold's watching the south, the north is wide open, and Harold Hardrada knows it. The most feared Viking king alive lands with a massive fleet, and he's brought Tostig with him, Harold's own brother. They smash through the north, and now the very move that seemed to save Harold is the reason his kingdom just got cracked open from behind. Harold doesn't have time to think this through. He only has time to run. He grabs his best fighters, the housecarls, and marches them 180 miles north in 4 days. That pace wrecks a man's legs and lungs, but every hour lost is an hour Hardrada gets stronger, so Harold pushes through it anyway. It works. Harold's army slams into the Vikings at Stamford Bridge before they even get their armor on. The English swarm across the river, cut through the Viking ranks, and kill their leaders. By the end of the day, both Hardrada and Tostig are dead. Harold just won his fight of his life. He's about to find out it bought him nothing. Because only a few days later, the wind that trapped William for months finally shifts. William's fleet moves, and he lands his army on the south coast with nobody left to stop him. The same exhausted army that just saved the north is the only thing standing between William and the crown, so he has to turn them around and force them back down the same 180 miles they just ran. Harold's exhausted army beats William to Senlac Hill, and that timing is everything. The second they get there, they lock their shields into a solid wall of timber and iron. That wall is the one thing keeping them alive, and William knows it, so breaking it becomes his entire plan. A Norman minstrel rides out alone first, juggling his sword to shake the English nerves. He gets cut down in seconds. That failure pushes William straight to force, a massive arrow volley aimed to soften the English before the real fight starts. But shooting uphill kills the whole plan. The arrows just stick uselessly in the Saxon shields. William's opening move failed completely, so now he's got nothing left but a straight fight uphill. He throws his heavy infantry up the hill, then his cavalry. Nothing breaks the wall. The English hack down horses and men with heavy axes, and the bodies keep piling up at the base of that hill. The stalemate grinds on so long that the pressure finally does what William's attacks couldn't. It cracks his own line. The Norman left flank breaks and runs into the marsh, and that panic spreads fast. A rumor rips through the army that William is dead, and the whole line starts to collapse into blind fear. William rips off his helmet and rides straight into the terrified mob, screaming that he's alive. He proves the panic was real, and that's exactly what lets him turn it into a weapon. Because the English see Normans running and go blood-drunk. They break the wall that's kept them alive all day, and they charge down the hill to finish the job. That's the mistake William was waiting for. His cavalry spins around and slaughters the exposed Saxons out in the open marsh. The wall is gone. The high ground is gone. Harold's men are standing in the open now, with nothing left between them and the killing blow.
With Harold's shield wall already gone and out in the open, he's an easy target now. A Norman knight puts an arrow straight through his eye, and before he can even go down, more knights close in and hack him apart. His own brothers fight and die right beside him. With the king dead, the heart of the English army is gone in an instant. In one single afternoon, a kingdom changes hands. William doesn't waste that win. He gets crowned king on Christmas Day, and then he goes to work tearing out the old power structure. Over the next few years, he strips English lords of their land one by one and hands it all to his own men from Normandy. That's not just a battle won, that's a country rebuilt from the top down, so there's no going back to the way things were. Years later, William looks back at what happened on that hill, and the weight of it doesn't sit right. So on the Pope's own order, he has an abbey built right on the ridge where so many men died. And today, if you walk into Battle Abbey, the high altar sits on the exact spot where Harold went down 900 years later, and that ground still remembers exactly what happened there.